Hi guys, how you doing? Welcome to tnsradio.com on the Monday night. Scottish Sovereign Gary with you. Tell me in the chat box please if you can hear me okay. Might be having some issues with my mic, I don't know. Okay, it's been a week already since we had our last guest on, as you know. I can't even mind to watch who the bloody hell we had on. It's full on here at the moment. But it's good to be back in the hot seat here, and again, if you've got any questions or anything you want to ask, just fire them into the chat box there, and I'll do my very, very best to address them. We've had a massive kind of influx, if you like, of new members in the past 10 days. I think we've had something like 44 new members in 10 days. So that is good going. At least, the membership is rising. People have obviously caught on to the fact that something isn't quite right. They maybe don't know what isn't quite right, but at least they've made the first step, took the step and joined the Scot site. So if you're a new member, thank you very much for joining up to ScottishSovereignSOnTheLand.ning.com. We're here for your benefit. There's a few old hands, if you want to be called some of the old hands guys there in the chat box. But there's a few old hands there in the chat box if you want to have a conversation with them. Of course, you can always PM them. Okay, give me a wee second. And let me see in the chat boxes if my sound is clear. Okay, we look as if we're good and ready to go. So as I say, we've had 44 new members, and I have had a few guys contacting me that they have been putting out flyers. So thank you very much to all you guys. Listen, you guys are the guys that make the site what it is. It's nothing without you. I couldn't do it without you. None of the admin could do it without you. And certainly it's all down to a team effort. We are a team. We are the people of Scotland, if you want to look at it like that. Okay, we don't see borders and all that, but at the end of the day, we are the team, and it's up to us guys to get some arses kicked and get other people into gear and get them clued up. That is our job. We have taken that responsibility. The minute you step into Scottish Sovereigns on the Land, I don't know if you know it, but you have accepted a responsibility, and I don't care if you say I didn't contract to that. You did. You just didn't read the small print, which isn't there at the moment, but it will be on asking. So anyway, so listen, thanks very much to all the guys that's putting out flyers. Absolutely appreciative as anything that I could be. Of course, the flyers can be located just to your right of the main screen there, just above the TNS host picks, that being the parking fine, the Sovereign Flyer 1 and the Sovereign Flyer 2. One of the flyers is actually, if you want to save ink, one of the flyers is one of the best options for you. One of them has got a wee bit more in detail. Also, as Laurie has just reminded me, or Jim has just reminded me, thanks very much. There's a group that has been started, and it's called the 100 Club. And if you very kindly would like to place yourself in there, and I'm not being anything, I'm not saying that you don't have to be Scottish to be in the site or anything like that, but if you're Scottish and you're not part of that group, then please get your bahookie into that group. Details to follow shortly. There's a few messages in there. I've certainly typed one or two in there that should open or give you a few suggestions of what the group is about. Okay, so thanks to the guys for the flyers. Flyers can be located above the TNS host picks. Please download and disseminate and get them out there. Read them, get them into your heads, and get them out there. And let's get them rolling out so that people can join our ever-expanding community of sovereign men and women, free-thinking, frequency people that we are. Because we are the people. Now, that aside, some of you may be aware that one of our very good friends, Reverend Rashers, had a wee accident there on Saturday night. He was engulfed in a fireball coming from his wood stove burner. That's all the details that I have at the minute regarding the accident itself. But Reverend Rashers, I'm getting told, is trying to lift himself and his spirits, and there is a possibility that he may be going for some skin graft. So I think each and every one of you would agree with me when I send my best wishes, my love, and all possible healing that I can conjure from this, what I call my own body, over to Andrew. I hope you get well soon, mate. I know you might not be listening, but I hope you get well soon. And we're all thinking of you, all your friends, and certainly your family are all thinking about you, and we hope you get well soon. Now, following on from last week, I had a week in a rant, or whatever you want to describe it, how you want to describe it. So I'm going to follow on. I'm going to kind of, and this is probably more so for some of the newer members. I know some of you more experienced heads have heard all this before, but people need to hear this, as you could probably appreciate, guys. So following on from last week, just how to deal with things, use of language, all these kind of things. So let's say, for instance, I've had a few people contact me, what do I do about this, what do I do about that, what about the next thing, Gary? Well, look, the fact of the matter is, you may find your own solution. Each and every single one of us have got our own solutions built in already, inherently, in place within us. Once you strip all the bullshit away, that's all that you're left with, really, is your solution and your truth. But I don't know what your solution or your truth might be, so the only thing I can say is how would I deal with things, okay? So, and this is basic stuff, guys, real basic stuff. If someone comes to your door, I think I touched upon this last week. If someone comes to your door and you're not expecting anybody at your door, then you're under no obligation to answer that knock at your door, okay? Because if you don't know who they are, they could be there, somebody could be there intent on causing you in your life, your family life, your personal life, some disruption, some hassle, whatever way you want to describe it. That's what that's what they're intent on doing. Now, to be fair, the very same people that's arriving at your door, and we've got to cut these guys a bit of slack, people, and the reason we've got to cut them a bit of slack is because they're in the same place that possibly we were in a few years back. They're still caught up in the Matrix, they're still caught up in fairy tale land and the fairy tale book. There's all these different terminologies, but they're still caught up in whatever that is classed as, they're still caught up in. So, you're really not at liberty to go and answer said chap at door. And if you do get caught off guard, it's very simply dealt with. I do not recognise you. Guy comes to your door and chaps your door and says, I'm looking for Mr. Nala, for instance. And, you've opened the door, you've been caught off guard. Guy saying, I'm looking for Mr. Nala. I'm just using Nala as an example here because it's the first name I saw when I clicked back on the Scottish site. Sorry, Nala. I'm looking for Mr. Nala. Well, if it was me, I might be replying, I do not recognise you, and closing the door. Shut the door. Walk away. Go away. Sit down. Go back to your PC. Go back to whatever it was you were doing. Painting the walls. Brushing the dog. Whatever. And if the door gets chapped again, well, certainly. And a good point that Kutch pointed out one time, and I thought it was kind of hilarious, and I'm going to use it, I'm going to steal it off you, Kutch, is what does a fiction sound like when chapping your door? Can you hear a fiction chapping your door? I certainly can. It's like the judge, when the judge sits in the court and he says to you, I cannot hear you and I cannot see you. He literally means he cannot hear you and he cannot see you. So you've got to adopt the same approach. You don't hear them and you don't see them.